Now we're good.
Oh.
Welcome to the Retro Ranger wrap-up, and welcome to the start of the NFL season. And how fitting is it that this week we got Fourth Down and Long, which is a Power Ranger football-themed episode, which is great.
With bugs.
Yes. Also, my San Francisco 49ers took a loss today to the Minnesota Vikings. Who's your football team?
Green Bay.
Green Bay Packers are playing right now against Chicago Bears. Who's your football team?
The Cowboys.
And they also took a loss today. So,
okay.
There you go.
Go sports team.
But we are going to be talking about Power Rangers, the Retro Range wrap-up. Welcome back. You had a broken leg yesterday. You recovered pretty quickly.
Thank God for, magic. And
thank God for human growth hormone as they do in the NFL.
Exactly.
There's no drug testing here on Hashtag Show.
6 shots to my stomach and no more rabies.
Oh, congratulations.
So that's what's important to me.
We're so glad that you're back.
Exactly.
Our sympathies for that week that you were dealing with this.
I'm not fast as a dog. I've learned that today.
You have some Wolverine healing powers.
I do. I'm not as fast as the dog, but I've learned that I just need to play dead.
So last night we had a great After Dark spotlight on Jezzer. We learned a lot about him in 2.5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
If you guys want to vote for our next spotlight on, or this one, you can vote for either one of them. You can vote for any person on our show except me, and accept Jezzer now, and accept Justin.
Yeah.
So go ahead to THS Hashtaggers. Head over there. Cast your vote. J Boss already voted. He voted for you, actually.
Thanks.
And then a bunch of people also voted for you. I think you're tied for the lead right now.
You know what? I'm just going to be honest, and maybe I'm going to tilt the scales a little bit, but I do want to see you next as soon as possible. I just want to see and hear about you real quick. And
I feel like all my answers are going to be like, I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, I don't
Let me think about this for 3 days, and I'm going to come back with something really witty, but just you wait.
I think there is so much.
Well, I think there's there's going to be a lot. I think that, the interesting stories about some of our stories way before this about the bar.
How we met,
Phase, those would be fun. But there's going to be a lot of fun stories there. Karaoke at Phase. You didn't really do the karaoke
I don't
stuff
do karaoke.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which is interesting, because your birthday party was at a karaoke place.
Yeah, and I was drinking, which I don't really drink either.
Do, yeah.
That's right. So we're going to, if you want to discover more about Elle, go vote for her on THS Hashtaggers, or Daniel, go vote for him as well. I actually voted for you, too.
See?
So we're going to find out. All right, next up, we have a lot to talk about this week because we have a football episode, and then we have two of possibly my favorite episodes.
They were really good.
They were actually really good this week.
There was so much that happened. We'll wait.
I love talking about good episodes, but let's talk about this episode. We're going to kick it off here.
Kimberly's stance right here, though, where I'm like...
Yeah.
Football. But they're getting better at sports, though.
Everyone else was a little bit better, except for Kimberly.
But they're not doing flips anymore. They're learning how to sports, and they're doing a really good job.
Is Tommy still the quarterback of the team, though? Remember he was the quarterback last season?
Yeah.
We also got a super chat already. Hey, guys. And Daniel, thank you for the shout out last time, says Anthony Daniels.
Hey, no
Anthony
problem,
Davis,
man.
sorry, Anthony Davis.
I
not the NFL Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
no.
NBA
Anthony Davis. I'm getting all my sports.
You don't have a unibrow. Congratulations.
So this episode is written by Mark Linton and it's directed by Armand Garabidian. Synopsis is Rocky must drop kick Rita and Zedd to save the Rangers from the Centiback monster who changes people into footballs.
Rita said no more bugs. And still,
bugs.
We got a bug.
Yeah, the bug mated with the football.
Yeah, right? And
it was weird. It was a weird thing.
That was kind of uneasy.
But the creature concept design, I thought that was actually pretty good.
Dude,
it had all the legs coming out. I was like,
it was good. It was good. It matched up well. It matched up very well.
So Rocky's friend Alan accidentally causes a smoke screen in the science class by reading the instructions incorrectly. Mr. Wilton's back again, guys.
Yeah.
Yes!
And he threatens to kick him off the football team if he does not shape up. And now, as a result, Rocky thinks Alan might have some trouble, as his uncle did.
Yep.
His uncle's a famous football player, Joe Halley. Now, back in the day, people, if you were a football fan back in the 80s, 90s, it was always Joe something. Joe Montana. Joe Namath.
All of them.
So it was always a thing. So Joe Haley makes sense.
Joe Dethelmeyer.
That's right. I was a football superstar.
Yeah, exactly.
Who was visiting Angel Grove. Skull have been assigned to guard Uncle Joe. Guys, what do you think here?
They did a really good job. They were actually scared, and they were like monsters, and they had that bravery moment, and they're like, "This is our job. We are going to protect this guy."
I loved it. Because they definitely stepped up. Like, all right, this is what we're gonna do, like you said, and it was just like nothing's pushing them down from it.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was like, "Oh, my little baby's all grown up. I love him so much."
Also, this is a cool episode too because it actually gives Rocky a spotlight, which I feel like I haven't seen since that Pachinko machine.
And that was not a good spotlight.
Last week we just saw him as a teacher.
Oh, that's true. But I felt like that was more of a Mr. I guess it was a Rocky episode.
Yeah,
it was super
Mr.
lackluster.
Wilton. We did say Mr. Wilton breaks some boards.
I
thought he was going to do something today.
Yeah.
Too. Like, I think Mr. Wilton beats the students.
I actually think Mr. My
like, he gets the beakers, he breaks down tables, starts, like, stabbing them.
I think Mr. Wilton definitely, at some point in his life, served in, like, the Vietnam War.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And came back with, like, PTSD.
Oh,
and was like, I need to do something to calm myself. Science. And then he's like, oh, I can't get the beakers. And then, like, he just started teaching, I think.
It's like, science, and I'll teach kids. And you're like, oh, that's
I also think that if he met Zedd face to face, Zedd would be afraid of him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Oh
Now, on the moon, Zedd has taken an interest in football and is practicing with Goldar and Rito. So Zedd must be primed up for NFL game day kickoff. He is he's actually quite good. Finster enters the throne room presenting a magical centipede to become a monster, given something to catalyze with. He bumbles into practice, dropping the centipede on the football. To Zedd's surprise, the two items merge into a new monster, which is Centiback, which you like. And impressed by the idea.
Fusion moment.
You do. Impressed by the idea of having their own running back, which is a football player position on the field, if you didn't know. Did you know that?
Sports.
the answer.
Rito asks Centiback to toss him a ball. Rito catches it, does a touchdown dance, then he vanishes in a flash of light. Rita sends searching the smoke on the floor to find Rito. The football Rito turned into a football by Centiback.
Like, okay, so when Finster creates these monsters, does he know what their powers are going to be?
Oh, wow,
or
we got a
does
big
he
super
just...
chat.
Oh, cool.
Sorry.
All right. Whoa.
For Ninja Quest, Rito versus Thunder Zords, they never use Mega Tiger or Tor backup or fix the Red Dragon potential of the battle underdone. Your thoughts?
Wait, huh?
Okay, so for the Ninja Quest, Rito versus the Thunder Zords, they never use the Mega Tiger Zord or Tor for backup or fix the Red Dragon. Potential of the battle underdone. Do you think the potential of the battle was underdone
because they didn't use the two? Actually, no. It was a fight. Really, I'm starting to adopt Joe's kind of feel when it comes to the Zord fights. I skipped through them.
Yeah,
like really, I'm 10 seconds.
Like 3 seasons in, I love robots, and I guess I didn't really remember this as a kid. I just accepted it, and it's something. But as an adult, it's like, yeah, it is just an immediate done.
Well, it's weird to say because when we talk about Power Rangers, come on, but it's so formulaic, and it's horrible that I'm saying that about Power Rangers because it's Power Rangers.
I mean, honestly, I think the best Zord scenes are the ones where they're getting destroyed. Honestly,
yes,
and that's not right, but it's not out of I hate the Zords. It's mainly because it's actually a story being told about the Zord.
Yeah,
and I actually like when the Zords are sentient.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, I do enjoy Ninja. But
I hate Ninja in that Legacy War video game, though. It's a whole other story, though.
Right.
But the Zords, when they battle on their own, I think that's super interesting. We don't get to see that enough before they come together and power slice.
I was interested last week when Rocky, kind of went on his own. I got to take down blah blah. But after that, it's like no. Question about this episode: did this originally air in February?
I don't. We actually have an air date. Actually, the air date of this was actually September 23rd. So it was right around.
But that's kind of back to school when people are trying out for football.
Not just that, but it's also the actual start of the football season.
Yeah, I thought it was in February.
Well, it's around the beginning of the football season, so it makes sense.
Cool.
Now Goldar tosses the football to Zedd, who comments they don't make them like this anymore.
Yeah.
Real monster skin. He tosses it back to the ground, where Rita changes Rito back, dazed by being tossed around. Rito can only ask, anyone got the number of that bus? Jerome Bettis reference.
Ding ding.
Nobody else got that because sports.
No, Jerome.
So up to this point, what are you guys thinking about the episode? Football, Power Rangers, does it work?
This episode, yes, it did.
It's fun. I love seeing them have fun in the interactions between all the villains, and they're like, yeah, monsters, and they're immediately like, no, this is a stupid idea, and they see it, and they're like, yes, this is amazing, and I'm like, yeah, I feel that excitement.
I love everything that happens in the throne room on every episode because it goes well. It flows well.
Who has the best throne? Draken, Zedd, Game of Thrones.
Oh, shoot.
Game of Thrones is pretty iconic, though.
Dude, it's all metal.
All right, Draken or Zedd?
I like Zedd.
Zedd
Zedd has a
I
turnaround the
agree.
voice.
Yeah,
thing where it's like, no, I don't want you on my team.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move on now. At the football field, Bulk and Skull meet up with Joe and ask him for his autograph, seeing as
That was so cute.
Seeing as they had tickets, they tell him just to write it on the back, because obviously you don't want to sign like a parking
Yeah,
ticket,
for
sign
sure.
into it. But as he was doing so, Centiback appears, throws a ball at Skull, turning him into a football. As Alan and Rocky see the whole thing, Centiback turned Bulk into a football as well. Alan and Rocky show up before Centiback threw another ball, which Alan catches, muttering, "Uh-oh."
And then
Alan is turned into a football.
Yeah.
As Rocky is knelt down to it, Joe comes to his nephew's defense, intercepting Centiback's next ball and sacrificing himself from being turned into a football. Angered that his friends and uncle have been turned into footballs, Rocky morphs and informs Zordon to get the other Rangers. Now, as the other Rangers appear, the Tenga Warriors show up and Centerback's backup players, and they start fighting football style, turning Tommy, Kimberly, Billy, and Adam and Aisha into footballs as well. Now, with no choice, Rocky teleports back to the command center as Centerback and the Tengas grab the human footballs. Like he had all these balls in his hands.
Yeah.
It was cute. It's like kind of like Easter.
Like, oh gosh.
We got another super chat from Common Ranger. This is Power Ranger Thunder Zord's destruction. Just wait. Yeah, we'll get there.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. And it's gonna be fantastic.
Let me ask you guys a question. Now, this fight scene. What did you think? The choreography.
I loved it.
Hey, yes,
it was so
yes.
good. It was so good.
There was less flipping.
Yeah.
All right, and a lot of football.
Would you buy those footballs in stores?
Honestly, yes.
The pink one looks pretty cool.
Yes, I would. The pink one looks dope. I would definitely go for it. Oh man, come on. The black one looks great too.
I don't buy sports
Sabretooth
things,
one
but...
looks great too.
I
That'd
would
be pretty cool.
I would get one.
But have you noticed like this reminded me of like when the putties were like linebacker football players?
Linemen?
Yeah, and then like they were like really strong, and I was like surprised by like, man, football uniforms suddenly make putties strong. I feel like the football opponents always are like crazy.
Well,
like
the
difficult
padding
to
and everything, and then
Can we go back to the picture of the footballs real quick? I want to bring up something real quick. Art department had an easy job that day.
Those up there,
the ones up top. The ones up top.
Those are so janky.
Clearly had an easy day. They were just like, I don't care, and this is how I show you.
That definitely, those footballs up there on top there, those definitely are the football, the Dark Ranger footballs.
Yeah,
of
for sure. For sure.
100%.
Yeah, completely.
Now back to the story.
Oh man.
Let's see. Back to story at the command center. Rocky discovers the footballs center back through emit energy waves, and of course the only way to reverse this is the assistance of Ninjor, and some reversal buckets.
The buckets are so ridiculous.
Like I said, our department had an easy week.
Easy. Because that was like, all right, what are we gonna give you? We need something to stop this. Here's a bucket. And we put some hoses on it or something, and that's gonna change everything. And yet, when I was a kid, I was like, I'm in. I believed it and I was down. That was it.
Actually, can I take this back just a second? Because I have my notes. Did any of you notice that at some point when like all the Power Rangers are being turned to footballs and it's just Rocky and Aisha's like, go, 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 and she's just being a cheerleader? I was like, why aren't you helping out the Power Rangers? You have a job, girl. Your team is being destroyed. You cannot just stand in the background and be like, go, Rocky, you got this.
Well, that's why that's the moment when Coach Zordon decided to cut her from the team and find a replacement. That's where we get Zeo.
Yep. She'll be gone soon. Can't wait for that moment.
So I was looking through my notes, and that was like in all caps. I was like, Aisha, come on, you don't have a lot of characterization at this point. You gotta be helping out.
Which is unfortunate because Karen Ashley's such a good actress, and she shines in the episodes she actually gets stuff to do in. Unfortunately, she just doesn't get a lot to do.
Like, man. I'm so disappointed.
It'll level out because of the next episode.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
I mean,
but,
that's true.
But this one, my God, that was like the worst. You're not helping me at all. You're not helping me at all.
I expect that from Kimberly, but not you, Aisha.
It's like playing Final Fantasy and they have that option where they say cheer. No one ever chooses it. You just let it sit there as a power. You don't click it. Yeah. You just let it sit there. And that's exactly what she did.
Let's see. Center back, or after Ninjor shows up, Zordon unintentionally said his name. They head to the mountains where Centiback brought the footballs, and a snowstorm is due to arrive, which will interfere with the buckets. Now, Centiback tossed a ball, which Rocky caught with the bucket.
Those buckets are so weak, like snow.
It's made from Alan, Joe, Bulk, and Skull. They kind of reappear. After that, they turn normal. Zordon teleports them back to the football field. After Centiback tosses another ball, Ninjor catches it with his own bucket and tossed it into a row of footballs made from other Rangers who turn back to normal as well.
And then Saba's like, hey, what's up? I haven't said a word for like 10 gajillion years, but I just want you guys to know that I'm okay too.
I'm okay too. He was like, oh, great, everything's fine. Shut up, Saba. I was like, one of those, like, I wanted time to shut up, Saba. Right? And then he's, okay.
You know what? That's an interesting thing. Why does Saba not really talk after the first two episodes?
No, because no one cares about Saba. He barely uses Saba.
The toy sold pretty well.
The toy sold, and I remember I wanted it.
It looks cool.
Yeah. I did the toy talk too, didn't it? Talk?
Yeah, I did. You press, there are 3 buttons.
And did you yell at it to shut up? You just took out its batteries?
Every once in a while. You know, you're a kid, you want to have power, so you just press something and tell something else to shut up.
Rita and Zedd soon make Centiback grow as the snowstorm starts and the Rangers combine their Zords as Ninjor grows. As soon as Centiback is defeated, Rita and Zedd argue about Centiback's defeat before Finster tried to calm them down. But because he made the monster, they, alongside Goldar, start blaming him. That's the one thing you don't want to do to Finster is blame him for anything. You will turn up,
trust me,
tied to a pigeon or something.
Especially Goldar, where it's like that. He's not really like Finster's like Zedd and Rita. All right, you guys can boss me around. You guys are the master. We get it. But Goldar jumping in, I was like, no.
Goldar is gonna wake up with his eyes sewed shut.
Yes.
Replaced with just marble drawings. He's sick. He's sick. At Ernie's Cafe, because it's a cafe now.
Yes, of course.
Jerome Stone reprimands Bulk and Skull for not being at the football field and revokes their right to be on celebrity duty.
But they were doing a good job.
Yes.
They did their best to protect them in light of just being high school students against a monster.
My thing is, okay, so you want me to go ahead and protect this guy against a monster. First off, you know what? You did a horrible job by putting high school students inside of a celebrity, man. All right? And then after that, it's Angel Grove. There are monsters all the time. Like, what's the deal here? But I still love Lieutenant Stone, so it's fine. It's fine.
I actually like Lieutenant Stone, too.
And look at them laughing, and they were all laughing at Bulk and Skull, and they know what went down.
Dude,
like, they knew they were literally turned into footballs, and they still openly mocked them. I was like, Power Rangers, you were so supportive at their graduation, and then all of a sudden it's like, ha ha ha, you guys are footballs.
Let's all laugh at their incompetence.
Like PTSD from all these monsters, and it's like, we're going to laugh at you. And I'm like, no.
Come on, man.
I mean, as soon as he tells them to return the footballs he had in his hands back to the field, Bulk and Skull mistake one for Centiback. Centiback's ball knocks it into the bowl of fruit salad, which lands on Bulk's crotch. Alan and Joe soon meet up with Rocky and his Ranger friends, and they reveal that Alan is dyslexic like Joe.
Yeah.
Sometime later, Centiback is somehow revived and starts making a football formation in front of Rita and Zedd, much to the latter's annoyance.
Oh, boy.
So there you go. As always, we have notes on this episode. Now,
yes.
Ninjor. Oh, first of all, too, while I'm going over the notes in the chat, let's see what you guys are talking about. Anthony Davis says, I care about Boom Comic Saba.
Okay, well, yeah, he's dead. Well, now he's alive again, but whatever.
David says, happiest days when they cut off Saba's head. In Boom Studios, that happens.
Was it Tommy that was just like, shut up?
Yep, exactly. Right. That was it.
Oh,
so,
man.
There you go.
I gotta read these comics.
The guy feels the same way.
Anthony Davis says, wow, the Rangers were pricks.
They have been.
I'm glad that you can say that because it's true.
It's true.
So there's some of the comments. Again, if you guys want to get your comment featured, hit that super chat feature to help support the show. As we got a new computer now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, so we're gonna go on rank this episode in the chat. You guys rank it as well, and then think about your rankings because we're gonna do notes first.
Cool.
So Ninjor's energized slash attack on the giant Centiback would be the only time this attack method would be used. Number 1.
Really?
Those football guys are strong, man.
Football guys are strong.
Yeah.
What's football? Right?
I do like those uniforms.
This episode marks the first speaking appearance by Saba since the change to the ninja powers, although he would be used far less this point onward.
Really?
Far less than not being used at all.
At all.
Like one every 15 episodes.
If that. The Rangers do not turn into their ninja forms in this episode.
Oh. I like that.
Very true.
Maybe that's why I like this episode a lot more too.
Yeah. This is the second appearance of Mr. Wilton, first being Wizard for a day. He again makes an appearance in Attack of the 60-Foot Bulk.
Yes, I can't wait for that.
Line. This episode is extremely similar to the previous one. In both episodes, focus on Rocky, involve him being needed to save other Rangers while they're turned into inanimate objects by a monster of the day. True story, though.
Really?
True story.
Wow, poor Rocky, man. It's just like, again? Just like, how many times has happened?
For all of you Kamen Rider fans out there, though, Masked Rider episode Licensed to Thrill premiered on the same day as this episode as well.
Oh,
so that's a little throwback for you guys. Now, as I said, we're gonna get to some of your rankings right now. We got Common Ranger says he gives it a 4 out of 5. Edward Sanchez, hashtag Edward Sanchez approved, gives it a 4. JR Horror of Cosplay, that's Jerry, gives it a 4. Layla gives it a 3.5. Daniel gives it a...
I give it a 3.5.
Really? I'm being super generous on this one. I'm giving it a 5.
I wanted to give it a 4.
Oh, you gave it a 5.
I actually wanted to give it a
Because I
4.
like the subject too, where it's like Ellen has dyslexia. I think a lot of kids
I
deal with
actually
that.
wanted to give it a 4.
Are you
So
a little
funny,
surprised
it's 4.
that we haven't had like an ADD episode? Or
Actually, kind of.
even an autism episode, like a spectrum? I guess the movie. I guess
The movie,
2017
yeah,
movie.
2017
the
movie
comment,
did
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But like these are the things where I'm like, they actually are kind of putting in some like issues, like Kimberly's divorce and having to move and all this
Real
stuff.
life issues, yeah.
I love those episodes.
I agree with you, and I think this is why I think in season 3, and I know that like Blackwing doesn't like season 3. This is why I think season 3 is probably one of the best Power Ranger seasons, at least in Mighty Morphin era. It's because they do focus on real things. There's storylines. They have returning characters that later play out down the line, and they do talk about real issues.
Okay.
Like you
agree.
said, Eleanor.
All right,
All right.
I'll allow it. I've been called worse things.
So, do you like the sports themed episodes?
Yeah.
All right.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, it was enjoyable, and there were moments where I laughed, and I mean, we laughed about them right here, and it was like, yeah. So, I changed my 3.5 to a 4.
All right.
3.5 to a 4. Now we're
What
gonna
was
get
your
in-
rating?
Oh, yeah, my
I was
rating.
gonna say, like, yeah.
This is a tough one because I thought it was like watching it now. I thought it was a fun episode at the time. I think I didn't like it very much.
Yeah.
But after we've spoken about it, I'm gonna go solid 3.5, middle of the road.
Okay.
All right.
Middle of the road answer.
A little
so
bit
that's a
higher,
decent thumbs up for everybody.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers just got carted off the locker room with an apparent injury. That's Josh's fantasy quarterback, so good luck with that, Josh. Luckily, he drafted 3 quarterbacks for some odd reason, so I guess that's going to pay off for you, Josh Goldman.
Wow.
Now, these next set of episodes, I loved.
They're so good.
They're very good. This one we're going to be talking about Stop the Hate Monster Part 1 and 2. This one's written by Stuart St. John.
Okay.
And directed by Bob Radler.
Is Stuart St. John someone important?
No. But Stuart St. John's a longtime contributor, writer, I think even producer for the show for a long time.
Okay. I mean, I know I see his name all the time, like,
Yeah. Now, the synopsis for this is Lord, Zedd, and Rita Repulsa create the Hate Monster. The Hate Monster is sent to spread hate everywhere. Meanwhile, when the kids are attacked by the Tango Warriors, and the Hate Monster places the Rangers under a spell, Aisha is the only one who remains unaffected due to the heart-shaped necklace given to her by her grandmother.
Finally, an Aisha episode. This is
Yeah.
what I've
I
been
think
waiting
it's the
for
first, I think, right?
so long.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Can you recall another Aisha episode?
Other one, she was like a terror, and she wanted to be like it wasn't class president, but she was going around being like, no, you need to do this, and she was super bossy.
Oh, I remember
She
that.
wasn't even under a monster influence. I can't remember what the title of that episode was.
That's right.
They got to find a way to break the spell before it gets any worse. Love this episode. Now, we're going to get into this. Now, before we even start, though, I got to ask you guys, do you even remember this episode? I do. I fondly remember this episode. And I liked it as a kid, and I like it as an adult.
I remember it because the Hate Master, and they never addressed it really, but he was rapping.
Who wins in a rap battle, the Hate Monster or the Pumpkin Rapper?
The Pumpkin Rapper. See, that's the thing. Pumpkin Rapper had lyric.
Yeah.
Lyrics. He was completely lyrical. it was like, oh my God, are we doing like a Biggie versus like Pac thing? Is that what we're doing right now?
Oh man,
I'm
wrap off.
I'm just saying, yeah, like I'm just like lyrically, I'm all for the pumpkin one.
Well, they did put out the Hate Master mixtape that was floating around in Zedd's palace. I think how he got the job here.
But Hate Master was kind of
some diss tracks with the Hate Master.
He was just probably dissing everybody, and they were just like, what?
If anybody can come up with a Hate Master diss track, we'll play it right here on that hashtag.
Yes.
But he was like Eminem though. He was self-deprecating. He was like, I don't know why I'm speaking of raps. And like he was like a little tongue-in-cheek with the whole thing.
He hated everything, even himself. He is the master of hate. He's a hate master.
But I like that.
Hate.
Little self-deprecating, kind of like, you know.
Yeah, I'd pay to see that concert.
Yeah. Would you? Would you?
I would watch.
Really made it.
Honestly, no joke. Hey, so you since you didn't go to Angel Grove prom, next we're gonna do a concert performance with the Hate Master rap battle against the Pumpkin Rapper.
That would be it. Oh my God.
That would actually be pretty funny.
That would be really amazing.
We're doing it. We're totally doing it.
Let me host that part. That's all
we're doing
it.
it.
As MC?
Yeah,
Done deal.
Yeah, like,
get ready.
Oh
Morphicon 2020 rap battle contest. Hate Master against the Pumpkin Rapper.
Oh my
We're doing it. All right, Power Rangers. At Angel Grove School, a group of female students read. I really like this episode. A piece of paper attached to a wall. The paper is shown a list of new members for the Angel Girls Club, which I guess is kind of like a social club.
But also kind of seems like a community servicing, because I was like, what?
It's like a sorority.
It's a sorority. Pretty much they remind me of the AKAs. Sorry to say, y'all.
An obvious, important, and much desired gathering of Angel Grove's best. Now, Kimberly and Aisha What? Oh, we got a super chat? Yeah, we do got a super chat from Common Ranger. They still don't have a fitting suit for Rocky and Adam. They don't have a suit
that's true.
By the way, anybody that super chats now, this is a little contest. If you do super chat, I want your super chat in a rap. Like it has to rhyme.
Oh.
Or any comment at this point forward that I'm only going to read one that rhyme.
Couplets. Put them in couplets.
So get your thinking caps on, guys. Now, so back to this. Kimberly and Aisha make their way past the girls and check the list. And first, they find out, surprise, Kimberly made it in. She then checks the list for Aisha's name, to no avail. Aisha is a little hurt by this, though Kimberly thinks that there has to be a mistake, as the Angel Girls Club is for girls dedicated to their community, as she's perfect for it.
Yeah.
Aisha noted that apparently for some people don't think so, pointing out that the girls who did get in nearby, who stand around patting themselves on the back, materialistically, Kimberly offers to talk to Veronica, who actually appears in Power Rangers Zeo as the same character.
Really?
Which is pretty cool.
Whoa.
Wow.
Head of the club for her and Aisha, they pretty much talk it out, and they get into, I don't want to say argument. What's the word I'm looking for? Discussion.
Yeah.
They get into a little bit of a discussion why Aisha is not there. Now, after she leaves, Veronica comes over, congratulates Kimberly on... she congratulates her first, asks why Aisha won't be accepted. Veronica snobbishly mentions that she didn't have the right qualifications.
Oh, boy.
Now, Veronica mentions in their first meeting is next afternoon, and she hopes to see her there. Distraught, Kimberly heads to the youth center to meet up with Aisha, who she finds doing some leg curls. Aisha already knows that she didn't get into the club because Veronica hates her, despite not having a clue as to what she did to make her feel this way. Kimberly sits down next to her and promises that she's going to find out the truth on why she didn't get into the club, and tries to cheer her up. What do you guys think so far?
That was super sweet. This is like a moment where like I actually feel like Kimberly and Aisha are actually best friends.
Well, you gotta be nice to the person who you're living in their house.
That's true.
That's the one thing you
True
gotta
facts.
do. If you're not nice to that person, P.S., they may just say, it's time for you to go.
That's
and
true.
then what happens?
Have either one of you experienced a situation like this in Aisha's shoes?
I think so. I feel like...
You want to share?
No.
It's not like we're doing a live show.
We're not. But it's
Okay.
like, I don't know, like Mean Girls, like, that's real stuff. It happens.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean,
You? Happened to you?
I've had it to where someone else didn't get in, and it was the same thing where it was like, yo, so what happened? Why didn't they cross? And then it was a whole conversation of it, but I couldn't do anything to make the change, but I just wanted to, well, that's not fair, man. I mean, I think they could have made it too, and blah, blah, but...
Yeah.
I think this episode to me is just about showing kids life isn't fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That
true.
makes sense. That's exactly
Harsh
it.
realities, guys. Meanwhile, in the Moon Palace, Lord Zedd talks about hate, calling it a wonderful word inspiring all the Ranger-related talks of it. Has excellent ideas. Rita tells him that tells him it'd be better to have something to do with her anniversary present.
Okay, so didn't they already celebrate their anniversary?
I was
Wasn't
just
that an
gonna say.
episode?
Rita's
episode?
needy. Rita is
I was
needy.
just gonna say, didn't we just do it? But it wasn't in this season. It was last season, I think.
Was it really? Because they're like, how long have we been married? And she's like, it feels like centuries, and or
Yeah.
like something like that. It's like,
But I think it was
has
last season. I think it was.
Anthony
Maybe it
Davis,
wasn't.
credit to you. Everyone knows when to chime, and guess what? It's Morphin time.
I like that.
Nice.
These are gonna be great. I love these. Oh, this is why. Thank you so much for giving us good episodes. A football episode, beginning of the football season. I love it. Now Zedd tells her that he has it and promises the best present ever. Power Rangers being defeated. Rita is excited about it and his evil plan. He reveals that he's going to have Finster create a hate monster, which will turn the Rangers against each other, causing them to destroy themselves.
Yeah.
Which is a fairly smart plan.
Yeah, I like it.
Outside of the juice bar, the Ranger boys are cleaning up large amounts of graffiti sprawled on the back wall of Ernie's around the cafe. Here's the thing. Who would do that to Ernie? He's giving away everything for free.
Yeah, that's true. Like, poor Ernie. The
But
guy
they explain
can't
it.
catch a break. He can't catch a break. He's giving stuff
They do
for
explain
free.
it.
Yeah.
He's been bankrupt.
Oh, they
And
do
then after
explain
that,
it.
Somebody spray paints. Yeah, that's true. But it's just like, poor guy.
And I feel
Now he has
like
to- he
now
has to
looking at
pay
this is like foreshadowing.
Yes, it
This
is.
is 100%
Yes, it is.
foreshadowing
But
of
then
who-
He has
Wait, is
to
that a
pay
skull or
for
like a
it to get it
donut
all
with
cleaned
arms?
up and everything.
I thought it was a
I
skull,
thought it
but
was a
now
skull, too. It looks like a donut
but now it
with
looks like a
arms.
donut with arms and legs. I thought it was a skull.
But I think it is a skull.
But I think it is a skull.
Like skull crossbones kind of thing.
I thought it was, but it also just looks like a donut being like, oh sorry, happy dancing.
Ernie thanks them for the help, but doesn't have any idea who it is. Bulk watches nearby vigilantly. No? Vigilantly.
Vigilantly.
Yeah, what did I say?
Vigilant.
Vigilantly.
Yeah.
Is that how I say it right?
Just
You are now.
And in touch with Skull via headset. Skull's inside the youth center under the table where the Angel Girl
This
Club
is a
meeting
creepy
is.
scene.
Yes.
a
Okay.
It was
voyeuristic
not
So
okay.
Can we take a moment to notice and
The
realize
perverted
yes,
kind of-
how problematic
And
this
both
is
girls
right
are like
now.
wearing skirts.
Dude, look at
Great.
that still. That says it all right there. So problematic where he's like, hey, legs. And you're just like, God, please, don't do this.
They're trying to do like, I mean, they're stepping on his hands.
Yes,
but also,
yeah, but still.
you know, at a moment
Not a
he
good
looked
picture.
up.
You're like, come on, dude.
This is
it just looks so problematic.
Skull is going to be in the Me Too movement now.
Here it
Yep.
is. It's
This
already
is
there.
happening.
It's already there.
Oh boy.
So progressive.
His headset doesn't work, so he pulls his Get Smart style shoe phone.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man.
How did you afford this?
To use to contact him. Kimberly soon walks over walks over and has a private conversation with Veronica about Aisha. All the while unknowingly, the two girls are stepping on the hidden Skull's fingers. I feel like they would have felt that, but
Right? Don't
Yeah,
you
like
notice?
you feel how off balance you are. But then again, here goes Kimberly wearing boots. I don't know what's going on.
but I like she has the stomping boots on,
yeah,
where it's like,
I'm like, she's not going hiking. She's not like some
I
urban New
wear
York
boots
youth.
regularly.
Well, not today.
yeah, hold on.
that's
You,
true.
I don't
Not
think
today.
that's a fair assessment. We
I
can't say
just
certain things
what
like
she's
that.
wearing. I just like I don't know. How would she not feel it? But then again, it makes sense why she wouldn't. She's wearing boots.
And then she's mad.
Boots.
She's kind of
She's stomping around.
Yeah.
Boots are made
she's
for walking.
upset. She's upset at the injustice over Aisha not being let into the club.
That's right. She's woke.
Veronica tells Kimberly that she's already in, so why does she care? Kim notes that Aisha is her friend. Veronica reveals that Aisha's family didn't make the required amount of income as an Angel Girls member should have.
So where does she get this information on the family's income?
Well, she looked it up on income.com.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, funny story. There is a website that's out there. It's like net worth posting or something.
Yes, it
and I
is.
randomly looked up my name once.
Randomly.
And it said I was worth like what was it, like $1.2 million.
Yeah.
But then it dramatically dropped to 800,000.
Yeah.
And I think I'm
it's
sitting
because-
somewhere around like
No, I
800,000.
think it's because when you started to mention it on air, when you
They're
were
like,
like, "I am the $2 million man."
Yeah, it was like- it got up to $2 million
It was
at
up
some
there,
point.
2 point something, and he kept saying it, and then it's.
I got to check it out to see what I'm worth now, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Somebody's watching it like, I'll show you. It's like Wikipedia. And they were just drinking them down.
Hey, David says, for all the hashtaggers that can't rap, don't worry. This challenge, it's a trap.
Ooh.
I like it.
Oh my god, I love these. I love these.
I like it.
This is good. I want to hear Elle come up with one, though.
Kim is appalled upon discovering. By the way, if they couldn't afford, but Kimberly lives with Aisha, so
Right, and they're like basically
Once
supporting
again,
her.
this is the thing I don't get. When they're like, oh, well, she can't. And you're like, but do you know where I live?
But also, I kind of believe it coming from Stone Canyon, where there are no monsters, and going to Angel Grove, like something did
it is the
happen to their
Beverly
finances.
Hills of that area. That's
So,
true.
you know, I kind of do.
What
believe
do you
it.
speculate Aisha's parents do?
I was trying to figure that out. Remember when we saw them when they took poor little Kimberly in, and the father was just like, well, that's something we can take care of. I was like, he's a doctor. He's a doctor or a lawyer.
Well, apparently not, because he's not making enough money.
Well, Kimberly,
he might be a public defender.
Kimberly has the retort where she says, actually,
I think
father makes a pretty good living.
I think he's
You know,
an insurance guy.
Insurance guy.
I think he's an insurance
Used
guy.
car salesman.
I think he's an insurance guy from Stone Canyon, though, that drives in from Stone Canyon.
Oh, okay.
Because there's never monster attacks, so he doesn't do
Oh, so
yeah.
he
adjusting.
drives in there and he's
That's,
like,
just a
hey,
thought.
so look like your house got stepped on. You signed the
Doesn't
insurance?
quite
All
work,
right.
Oh man.
Comment Aisha, that true fellow. She rocked that yellow mellow. All right. Fair.
Okay.
I like it. Kim is appalled upon arrival, discovering that the only reason she got in. Did I say that already? I think I did.
Well, yeah. And it's also not that Kimberly's family makes a lot of money. It's her mom was in the club, so it's kind of like
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
vested
yeah,
into
yeah, that's a
it.
good
Well,
point.
legacy, yeah.
According to Veronica, yeah, that's right. According to Veronica, the only reason Kimberly got in, despite not being wealthy, was because of her legacy. Kimberly's mother was in it before her, which means that she automatically gets in.
Mm-hmm.
Kimberly knows her mother would never want to do anything or be part of anything like this, something that's fascist, figuring that if this is the way to Angel Girls Club, she doesn't want any part of it, and she quits the club.
And I like that. That gives her some kind of like morality meter of like this is
like,
unethical, and you know.
I know she was like, I did something good today. Time to reward myself by going to the mall. I think that's most likely what she did, and I have no problem.
Man, look at that beret. You know they're
That's
going
how
to France.
you know. That's how you know he's French, because you see that beret.
Look at that
'Cause I
beret.
love that she was like, "Ooh la la." And
When
I
you
was
think
like,
of
really?
French people, you think of berets,
And baguettes.
scarves, baguettes, and paintings.
The painting,
Yes.
that's it. And he had all of them. It
He-
was like
yeah, he
aces,
did. He
aces
was
in the
definitely
hole.
a stereotype.
And then he also did the and I was like, there it is.
I think he did do
He's
that,
Yeah.
French.
It's not the ha 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 en français. Oh,
No. It's on me.
Veronica angrily accepts Kimberly's resignation. Both girls storm out. Bulk walks in and sits at the table looking for Skull and finds him, followed by a scream of agony coming from underneath the table. Well, that's what you get, pervert.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
It's true.
Bulk asks the injured Skull if he found
Time's up.
anything. Skull shakes his head no. Bulk tells him that if they're going to find out who did the graffiti bandit, then they're going to have to work a lot harder, vowing to nail the
boy.
vandal if they even catch him. That's what she said.
Yep.
Yep. I had to. It was there. It was just there.
You want point for
But stand up and inadvertently steps on Skull's hands before walking off. Skull can't even get out the scream, only can lift up his head in pain. First of all, I did see the anguish in his face. He
Yeah,
does
you
look
did,
pretty,
you
like
did,
it hurt,
you
right?
did.
Yeah.
He bonks on the table, passes out on the floor. What do you think of that moment?
It was funny.
It
It actually was.
It was
I
some
chuckled
rough
and I
justice.
was like, "What am I laughing at?" Like I thought to myself, like, "What the heck am I laughing at?" Well, it worked.
I was just like, well, that's karma. You shouldn't be under this table at this like girls' community club, like looking up girls' skirts. So you know, it's funny. But
He was
karma.
not looking up their skirts. He was conducting.
Look at that picture. That's not a Photoshop. That's a real
Yeah.
picture.
I just, oh god, I can't even defend him when
you
it's like
can't-
that. Look
yeah.
at that, I can't. The photographic evidence.
You
is
make
right
it so
there.
hard to defend
It
you.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh man! All right, so we're gonna move on now. Meanwhile, back on the moon, Finster gives Lord Zedd a handful of magic seeds of hate, which he has extracted from an evil monster.
No,
from every monster he's
yes,
ever created.
yeah.
But it's like when you take the seeds of monsters, I was like, what extraction methods did
Yeah, I
you
was
do,
wondering.
Finster? This is some
You know who
perverted,
Finster is?
dark
It's Finster.
stuff.
It's Finster.
You know who
so you know what he
Finster-
did.
Yeah, I
You know
do,
what he
I do.
did.
But they
You know what he
just
did.
gloss over it because it's a
required-
kid's show.
It required gloves.
Yeah,
you know who Finster
sure.
is?
Yeah.
Finster is the dude on Game of Thrones that made the mountain into like a zombie.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen anybody that hasn't seen Game of Thrones, the final season, where you know the White Walker comes out and there's a hand, and he picks up the hand. That's Finster. He's like, oh, how do I do something with this?
He's like, reverse
Creepy.
engineering.
Look at him.
Every time I see that, I
Man,
always
that
think
is
about
such a
there
good
goes
shot, too.
There goes the guy
Angle.
that murdered his wife.
Yeah.
He did though in the comic.
did.
He
Not
legit
gonna
did.
lie.
Yeah.
We're not gonna lie. Let's
Yeah.
just stress it. He killed his wife
He's such a cute little Scotty dog.
just to
though.
make sure he can
He is,
continue
though.
to make
But
monsters.
that's the deception of Finster. Because I always thought that on the show, like, oh, he looks harmless. But then it's like, no.
This guy's dark, man.
Look
You're
at that.
crazy,
Look
bro.
at that.
Yeah.
That is a menacing face right there. I don't think you guys realize.
I'm never gonna look at those dogs the same.
Exactly, right?
Finster tells him how to now recite an incarnation. Both Rita and Zedd do it together. This causes a seed of hate to come up to life on Earth in form of a rap-talking monster known as the Hate Monster, who's going to spread his hate to destroy the Rangers.
Oh my God.
Now,
It's too late for all that hate, but I'm so ready for it in every way. So ready.
meanwhile, at the outdoor cafe, Kimberly tells Aisha the whole scoop on why she wasn't let into the club. Aisha is baffled and hurt, having thought that her family was doing great and having a nice house and not in need of anything. Kimberly agrees that it's ridiculous, but wanted to be honest with her. Friends, honesty. That
Yeah,
happens.
I like that they have that very open. Like she didn't feel like she had to hide anything, and it's
Exactly.
like, but because also she was like, I quit the club. Like that's messed up, and I'm here for you.
Yeah,
I was like, man,
if you're not
love
in it, I'm
this.
not in it. This is how it's going.
Yeah, solidarity.
Beautiful.
Solidarity. Aisha can't believe that there are people who think that money makes you a better person. Well, guess what? It does. Just kidding.
Says the person worth only like $20 now, according to that website.
I think I'm up to 800,000.
It keeps going down. You're like, whoa.
Kim calls that disgusting, which is why she quit the club, claiming that they judge people no matter what reason is just wrong. Well,
Yeah.
sometimes you do want to judge a book by a cover. What? So, I mean, I'm just saying. Hold on, we'll get to Larry. He sent a super chat in. Damn it, Skull. His facial expression under the table made me spit my drink out from laughing. So that didn't rhyme, but I'll accept it. Thank you for the super chat, Larry.
Come on, man. That was on point.
That was a great screenshot. That was a great grab. Let's see. Aisha tells her that she didn't have to do that, but because Kimberly quit, she didn't have to do that, but it means a lot to her. She then picks up her bag and heads home to see her grandmother, who's in town for a while, and didn't give her a chance to think that these things over. Kim stands up and gives her a hug, telling her to remember her real friends and accept love for who she is. Now Aisha thanks her and leaves. Just as the Ranger boys show up, having finished with the cleanup, Tommy asks Kim how Aisha's doing. She tells him she's still pretty bummed, which is rightfully so.
Yeah.
Adam noted that no one likes to feel rejected, which is also true.
Yeah.
Kim asks if they're going home. They said yes. She asks, we're gonna have to probably get longer on this. She asks if she can come up with them, and they walk home together.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Nothing.
Nah.
No, it's just like out of all the episodes, I'm like, man, they're really developing Kimberly too as being like a best friend. This is great.
Good person, actually, because
Yeah,
remember, we're all
can't
part of
hate
the
on
group.
her.
We're all part of the club that says anti-Kim because Kim is, a word that we don't say on this show.
Yeah.
You know?
She's still pretty
she's
hot.
A mean, she's a mean girl.
Yeah, she's a mean girl.
Yeah.
She
And
is
that's
a
me
mean
judging
girl.
her on her looks. She is attractive.
Well, there you go, Joe.
She is.
In the moon
I'm not gonna
palace, Rita and Zedd ready their magic wand and Z-staff for the final phase of their plan. They must get something the Rangers have touched, so the hate monster can absorb and produce the hate dust. Then he'll cover the Rangers with it to destroy them, and then the Earth will be theirs. Laugh, evil laugh, cue evil laugh. Rita crackles evilly about loving her present. Zedd's plan to send Squat down, Squat, another fan favorite here, to gather the dirt and trample. Squat. This is so weird. They trample around when they're battling the Tangas, so they're collecting the dirt. Squat's sent down to collect
And he
dirt.
has a little like, what do you call the hand vacuum?
man.
It's
So
like,
stupid.
it's like, all right, cool.
The boys and Kimberly are walking home as Billy mentions that what the club did to Aisha was so unfair. Just then the Tangas swoop down from above and barrel them before they land on the other side. The Rangers are ready, morphing quickly to their ninja suits, fighting off the...
See, like, looking like that, like, I like those ninja outfits. But when they have, like, just the tiny little eye holes cut out, I'm like, no.
Well,
I am not down with that part of the outfit.
It's because of stuntmen, you know?
I know. Practicality reasons, but also, like, costume design reasons.
Yeah.
Kimberly's house, Aisha comes home.
It just looks so silly to me.
Are we talking bad level, like Dark Ranger bad level?
I mean, it's not as bad as Dark Ranger, but it is
just
just it's a step, like, they're associated. They're definitely, like, you look at this and you look at the Dark Ranger.
Is this for the reason why we have... you know what? Because I didn't see any of these cosplays at Morphicon.
No, we never do.
No. I wonder
for
why.
good reason, though.
I wonder why.
But they'd be the easiest to make, I feel
They
like.
would be.
And comfortable.
Someone should make me the Black Ranger one. I will wear it.
No, we're going to be Dark Rangers. I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah,
get
that's
this
right,
together
that's right.
with the
Okay.
janky red eyes
so
that don't
bad.
match up.
It's gonna
look
be so bad.
so
I could probably make those myself. I could literally probably make those
Those
myself.
are my
So bad.
favorite outfits.
And we need
I
to
can't
have
wait
bad
for the-
stitching like we're
Yeah.
talking about.
I'm really excited for the Power Ranger Lightning Collection action figures of these, by the way. I hope they come out. At the Campbell house, Aisha comes home and finds her grandmother waiting for her. They hug, and her grandmother sits down with Aisha, happy to see her, but notices something's wrong. Aisha explains to her grandma about the Angel Girls Club not letting her in because her parents don't make the required amount of money. Her grandmother asks if she had really wanted to be a part of something like that treat people that way. Aisha says no, but it also hurt her feelings, and that kind of made her mad. Now, her grandmother tells her, be strong and confident inside, and rise above it all, but understand that some people have very small minds. She hands Aisha a small box containing a necklace with a heart crystal inside the locket. It has been in the Campbell family for generations.
But I also like, money's not a whole lot of stuff. It's the quality of your character. Here's some material stuff from the
Yes,
family.
exactly.
Wait, what?
No,
You're
but it was
completely
something-
undercutting.
No, but it's something that was passed on through the family. It's an heirloom.
I
It
know, I
doesn't-
get that, but like the message is completely just like, hey, we don't, money's not important.
Money and
It's a-
material things
but
don't
also,
matter,
here's
baby.
a ginormous crystal for you to wear around your
Well,
neck.
we got a great comment. I got one from from JD. He says, if you don't want to wake up with pinchers, don't mess with Finster.
That's a good
I love it. I love it. That's a good. Bravo. Oh my God.
So Aisha thanks her grandma for it. Her grandmother tells her that whenever she feels down, she'll have to remind herself how much she loves her, and remember that love conquers all. Back, the Tenga's battle squad shows up, starts vacuuming the dirt that's knocked up by the Ninja Rangers during all the commotion. Go ahead.
The grandma. I want her to be my grandmother. I really do. I don't know why.
Well,
she's
that's
so
Medea.
loving. Yeah, exactly, right? That's pretty much what it is. Look at her. Hey, baby.
It's Tyler Perry.
Like,
Right?
like,
Played by
hey,
Tyler
baby.
Perry.
Ooh, I just happened to make a pie. I don't know why, but I made it.
I mean,
You know,
this
like,
is,
it's just like,
but she's
that's
very
her.
stereotypical, like
She
any
is-
grandma.
I think she was on at one time. I think she was probably on Family Matters.
That's
what she
the
looked
grandma.
like.
Oh, yeah.
Like, right? But the thing is, during that time there was a big craze with black grandmothers doing the hair color that way.
Really?
Because my grandmother had that, and my grandmother's a Haitian woman, and she had that haircut like that same exact hair. And why do you have purple or blue in your hair on purpose? No one should do that. But yet, that's a thing. Like, back then, that was it.
Well, B. Arthur also had the same hairstyle in the Star Wars Holiday Special, so we're going to tie that in later. Where's
man.
Rose not here?
Oh, man.
But, we'll tie that in.
We'll bring it up. Oh, my God.
Enough dust. So they get enough dust. We were just talking about B. Arthur, that's all.
That's Rose happy about
Now,
it.
thanks to the Rangers for being too busy with the Tengus, Tommy notices Squat and thinks he's running back to Lord Zedd and Rita, not paying attention to the vacuum he has with him. Tommy then gets kicked back by a few Tengas, causing the Rangers to regroup together in time for the Tengas to leave through the teleportation. Tommy wonders why they just leave, opting to contact Zordon to see what this is all about. The Rangers revert back to their civilian clothes, only to be surprised by the appearance of the Hate Master. He stands up at a hilltop, rapping as he's taken the dust Squat collected and rubs it in his hands. The Hate Monster absorbs the energy from it. Squat teleports away, and the monsters get ready to party.
See, you see, that's it. It's just, you're too late, and you wish you could go faster, but you can't win because you're going against the Hate Master. Thank you!
Ooh.
Thank you!
Mic drop.
Thank you!
The Master whips... The Master whips up his patented hate dust and tosses it floating into orange star-like mist above. And the boys and Kimberly and wraps his spell.
I just feel like it's a glitter bomb where you're just like, ugh.
And that's the problem. And
that's why they're so angry.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, glitter everywhere for 10,000 years.
Glitter is hard to get out of anything.
Yes.
I won't get it out of anything for days.
Get rid of it.
The 5 Ranger teens struggle, grasping at their heads in pain, wondering what happened as they're told that the hate monster to love to hate. At the command center, all the alarms go off. Alpha 5 detects a high reading of hate dust in Angel Grove. So Alpha clearly knows what this is.
Yeah, he's...
well, I mean, I love that he's been searching for it. Clearly, right?
Well, I mean, how can you not search for hate dust, obviously?
That came based off of their feet.
Yes, right?
That's right.
You know it. You know what it is.
Zordon confirms that his sensors tells him that they're being bombarded with the hate particles. He tells Alpha to contact them before it's too late, as the particles are destroying the good in them. Alpha tries to, but is unable to reach them. The hate monster crackles and raps about being a great present for Lord Zedd and Rita's anniversary as he continues bewitching the Ranger teens as the hate dust spins around all around them. The hate monster makes another clever pun, singing Go-Go Power Particles.
I thought that was cute.
Nice.
As the dust completely overwhelms them, they look pretty much normal after the orange cloud disappears above them. Zordon contacts the teens, teleports them to the command center. Tommy blows up at him, telling him to give orders to someone who cares.
Dude, I love it.
And is tired of listening to him. Billy agrees.
Listen, you big head. I love it. I love it.
Billy agrees with attitude, asking him about why he's hanging out with such
this is so good.
intelligently challenged people.
Yeah. I was just like, man, Billy has birds
Dude,
in his back pocket, just being like, I wonder. Okay, this is like one of those questions. Like, when someone drinks and is like inebriated, is that their true selves?
Whoa.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that was one of these. Do they actually feel like that?
I think so. I think.
Do they have these like subconscious thoughts that are starting?
100%.
I think so.
Kim scoffs, asking the nerd boy. She calls him Nerd Boy.
Yeah.
Nerd Boy,
yeah,
who asked you, Nerd Boy? Billy sarcastically calls that a good one. Kimberly mocks him by saying, oh, you're funny. Adam angrily turns to Rocky, asking him what he's looking at. Adam looks like a little fighter. Reminds me of like Jezzer in this episode.
Yes.
And what he's looking at, and he's got a problem. Rocky, with a heavily hostile tone towards Adam, says that he has a problem with him. The two get in each other's face. On the moon, Rita and Zedd hold their hands up, and Zedd promised that if he sticks with him, make everyone miserable. Rita calls it the best president ever. They make the hate monster grow giant in the command center. Alpha. Wait, we want to talk about that whole scene that just happened. I loved it, by the way.
Okay, all right. Well, as far as the whole arguments and everything, the back and forth, dude, so much shade was being thrown, and I was ready for every bit of it.
Honestly, realistically, in choices of acting, like it's like, okay, these kids,
yeah,
maybe they don't like each other.
Dude,
like,
teenagers with attitudes, and that's exactly what you got. And Zordon really thought about it like, this was really a bad idea. Like, he had to think about it like, I really should have picked some really chill kids.
Or either that or just like, I should have like gave Alpha just a little more instruction, maybe like 2 more qualifications for Power Rangers instead of just teenagers with attitudes.
That's it. And then it was like, man, but they just... I feel it. I wonder, like, with the actor's choice, if it was like, I really don't like these people, and I'm gonna say something. Like, it was like, okay.
In the command center, Alpha notes about how the monster has grown, and the Rangers are acting like spoiled babies. The Zordon notes that all isn't lost. Aisha hasn't been affected by the hate monster. As Alpha contacts her, the communicator goes off just as she's looking through it, old photos with her grandmother. When her grandmother asks what the sound was, Aisha tells her alarm goes off, reminding her she has a meeting she forgot about. Of course she does. Her grandmother says that it's okay, that they'll have time to visit later. When the coast is clear, Aisha, wearing her grandmother's locket, answers the call. Zordon fills her in about the hate monster poisoning the mind of the other Rangers. She tries to plan to talk her friends to break the spell and teleports to the park.
Oh boy.
Man, but her retort to like win them over to like... I wrote a snap out of it, guys.
Yeah.
That is your enthralling speech against hate.
Snap out of it, guys.
I know this is a 2-part episode, so you have some time to like develop your speech.
Well, I feel like
these people, but as a friend,
now,
Kimberly was so good with you, and you're just like snap out of it. And they do. That was a crazy part.
That was a crazy part.
I think that's how you heal the country, though. You got to get everybody together, and you got to say, snap out of it, guys, and then everything's going to be fine.
Oh, my God.
tactic doesn't work. Rocky and Adam are still pointing fingers at each other. This has been going on for a while, I'm guessing. Much to the evil glee of the other three, before a fight can break out, Aisha appears, immediately tells them to snap out of it. Kim tells her to mind her own business. Billy asks who invited her, and Tommy calls her a joke, just like the rest of them are. The orange light of hate particles suddenly swell up, and it fades away from the Rangers' heads, leaving them with migraines, but otherwise devoid of hatred. Tommy wonders what was going on, while the last thing Billy remembers is fighting Tango Warriors. Aisha rushes to her teammate's side and notes that the spell must have worn off, but they gotta move fast because the hate monster's attacking Angel Grove.
Yep.
They morph, call the Ninja Zords, head off after the monster. Meanwhile, in the Moon Palace, Lord Zedd realizes the spell wasn't strong enough to hold the Rangers. Rita whines, feeling her present is ruined. Zedd says calmly that they're gonna get it done.
We're gonna get it done.
They got a giant monster.
Rita asks if she's sure. He says he thinks so, which she doesn't find too promising. Zedd soon feels confident that with another dose of the hate particles, his plan must work. Now the hate monster gets the command telepathically, starts whipping up some more of the hate dust. It forms over the Rangers' heads again. Takes a moment for the spell to kick back, causing the boys and Kimberly to become filled with hate again, with even worse dose of this time.
Oh my God.
Aisha is not affected by the spell, asks what's going on and what's happening. The boys and Kimberly decide to bail out of their Zords.
I love when Tommy goes, I'm out of here.
And literally he's just like, I'm out.
Like he sits there for a moment, he goes, I'm out of here. I was like, what the heck?
As the Falcons, as it just crashes. Right?
It goes down. It literally was headed downward. Like the trajectory was like, okay, it's gonna crash. And he was like, I'm out of here. And he just jumps off.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah,
Tommy is a G.
He says he's sick and tired of being Zordon's pet. Aisha having followed them down, tries to talk him down, not understanding why she's not affected, but tells them that they're under the hate monster spell. Kimberly tells her once her best friend to stop whining, and she's sick of listening to her. Adam says that he's sick of all of them, and storms off. The other Rangers follow. Aisha's trying to get them to talk to Zordon since he'll explain everything. Tommy plans to talk to Zordon. He's got a few things to get off his chest, as does Rocky, who wants to tell Zordon off. Billy calls Zordon a joke. Kim notes is the Ranger Boys as well. Aisha tries telling them once more that the hate monster's the one who's filled them with hate, but to no avail. I'm surprised that nobody brought up the fact he's like, you commissioned us kids to do your dirty work.
I thought somebody would like give him the facts right there and be like, you're incompetent. You hired kids.
We got another super chat, guys. Common Ranger says, notice Rocky's shirt. Sleeves look like they're torn off. Must have got them from the Scott collection.
Yeah.
But speaking of shirts.
Oh, man, you're right. It is definitely
it's
ripped
from Jason.
off.
Speaking of shirts, we got some great ones from TeePublic. You and I are wearing shirts today that are in TeePublic. I got the Star Wars Power Rangers shirt on. You got the Doctor Strange shirt on. You can get your shirts by clicking the link in the description below. That helps support the show as well, and you can walk around your favorite convention or even down the street wearing your genuine #show shirt that are awesome geek designs, and I guarantee you these are a must for any Ranger fan out there. Yeah. So thank you for that natural segue. Where were we? Now, at the command center, the 5 hateful teens confront Zordon. Zordon tells them their minds have been altered by the hate dust. But the 5 take off their communicators and toss them to the floor in disgust and quit. Alpha tries to remind them that they're all friends, only for Adam to nastily say friends, not anymore, Tin Man. And Billy presses a button on the console, which causes the 5 of them to teleport back to Angel Grove. Aisha's left behind, only one with her head on straight. Alpha asks about the possibility that Zedd has created the ultimate monster.
With one button press, he was able to pick 5 people to teleport and make sure it wasn't Aisha.
Yeah.
One button press.
Dude, it's Billy. He made a flying car, man.
You've got a point. You've got a point.
Aisha asks why she was immune to the hate monster spell. Zordon teleports. Zordon tells Alpha to run a diagnostic scan on her to see why she wasn't affected, thinking that the answer to the riddle might help them break the Ranger's evil spell. Aisha's worried, asking what'll happen if they don't have the answer. Zordon grimly tells her that eventually the Power Rangers will turn their power on each other, destroying themselves. That's how you start a civil war.
But also, can't you just be like,
there you go.
Can't Ninja be like, I revoke your powers. I'm gonna give them to some other kids.
Yeah. If that happens, everyone on Earth will be at the mercy of Zedd and Rita.
Coins for you.
Now we're gonna get into part 2. That was just part 1. Now we got to get part 2. That was a lot. This episode's meady. There's a lot going on.
It's really good.
Alpha runs a scan on Aisha, seeing what is protecting from the hate monster's dust. So far, the device used to scan up and down Aisha's body has come up with nothing. Although Zordon explains that if they can find out what's making her immune, they might be able to break the monster's spell on the other Rangers. Eventually, Alpha discovers that Aisha's necklace is releasing some kind of strong energy waves. Again, with these energy waves. Aisha notes that it was a present from her grandmother, and according to Alpha's readings, the heart-shaped stone inside has been absorbing the energy waves that have the hate monster spell in it. If Zordon points out that the energy appears to be made of love. Love's an actual thing you can harness, apparently. A lot of people need it.
Yeah.
Generosity and caring, it's harnessed from all that stuff, which is a weird thing. Likely from all the women in Aisha's family who have worn the necklace throughout the generations as those powerful energies. Now that I'm reading, I will get to this. The powerful energies that acted as a shield against the hate monster sending us.
See, that was the thing.
Going back in history, there's probably a lot that happened in Aisha's family.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna speculate.
There probably is, right? I mean,
but also,
we went back in the
that
cowboy
necklace.
days. We went back in the cowboy days. It was probably there too.
But it's like an object. I wanted it to come from internally. She realizes that it doesn't matter what other people think of her, that she loves her friends regardless, and she will fight and do whatever it takes to bring them back together. But instead, they externalized it into this object that we were just introduced to, and I was like, couldn't they have just
goes against the
this
thing
material
that the grandmother,
object?
Yes.
It's saving everyone.
The grandmother says, "It's in you, baby. It's all about
No, it's not.
you,
It's in the
baby."
necklace.
It's in the
Get
necklace.
out of here,
It's in the
Grandma.
necklace,
She's like,
Grandma.
"It's in you, baby, but here's the necklace."
It's in the necklace,
Where
Grandma.
Really is
Yeah.
where it all is.
Yeah.
Suddenly, mid-sentence, Zordon's facial transmission. I don't know why I found that so funny to get out of, but Zordon's facial transmission is the energy tube above begins to fade slowly. The entire command center power goes out along with the backup generators, and Zordon disappears. Aisha and Alpha are left frantically wondering what happened. Back at the juice bar.
The juice bar again.
We're back at the juice
Oh,
bar.
it's not a cafe anymore.
It's not a
Yeah.
cafe. Well, maybe the cafe's the inside. The juice bar's on the outside.
Oh,
no.
Oh.
Swap that.
Swap.
Yeah.
Back at the juice bar, the spell-binded Billy is tinkering with some small device that he must have really hated Zordon to make a device.
And he already knew how to do this. He was like, I've been planning this for a long time.
Literally, it was in the back of his head already, but now that he's hateful, he's like, "Oh, I got
If
it."
Billy was evil, who would win, him or Finster?
Oh my god.
I feel like they would just come to
would
understanding.
team up.
They would team up at the end.
Like they're like,
for sure.
"Oh, I hate everyone. I also hate. I hated everyone."
He's like, I'm going to infuse some technology into your
Hey,
monsters,
no
and
joke.
we are going to take over
So
the world.
I know that we just
Yeah,
had
so
Shattered
did
Gray
you-
with Lord Draken. I think Billy would have been a better villain because he would have probably
Because he
systematically
knows-
taken
well,
him out.
because he actually did so much as far as building up the command center and making it what it was. Also, so just with a quick snap, he can I can undo it all.
Yeah.
Boom.
All right, so the command center shuts down. He boasts, "Am I good or what?" Kimberly walks up and asks the nerd boy, if it's another invention, telling him to get a life. Billy calls her a snappy little upstart, informing her this is
He
decent
is
writing
so
here.
sassy.
This part starts to go.
Yeah,
This part
it's
goes for me.
yeah.
It's informing her that he just cut off the power to the command center and telling her to leave him alone by finding a mall and infect herself.
Yes.
Or inflict
Man.
herself on.
Then here comes Tommy.
Tommy, Adam, and Rocky are sitting behind the bar. And they're still together. They hate each other, but they're
Yeah,
still
I
sitting
didn't get
together.
that part.
It's weird. And are luckily the only ones to hear the name Command Center. Tommy rushes over. Billy says that without power, Zordon won't be bugging him. He leaves, and Adam proclaims... Well, he would have been bugging him anyways, because they don't have the communicators anymore.
But they could still force
I guess they
teleport
could.
them. So.
Oh yeah. Well,
I need you home now.
That's legit kidnapping, though.
Yeah.
Well, Alpha did it during
That's
the
how-
Christmas special, so you know what happened.
That's also true.
That's it.
It's also true. He leaves, and Adam proclaims he is free to do whatever he wants and walks away. And Rocky says he wants to stay away from the others, and he leaves. Which is why weird that he was sitting with the others when he wanted to stay away from the others.
I want to get away from you. Let's all go to this bar.
Up in the Moon Palace, Zedd checks out, and it's crazy because in the Moon Palace nobody really cares. I just care about everything else.
Yeah.
Up in the Moon Palace, Zedd checks out from the balcony, noting that when they're nasty, the Rangers are almost cute.
And that was so them.
Yeah.
And he's pleased that Zordon's gone. All the Rangers are hate-filled. Now Rita struts up from her husband, making her anniversary, ruining fear about Aisha unknown, telling Zedd to do something about her. He tells her not to worry. If the hate monster doesn't get her, the other Rangers will. Rita can't wait, letting out an evil giggle.
God, it's like she's never happy, man.
I mean, she's always laughing though. She's having a good time.
Yeah, but
Having
it's
a good
like,
time now.
like Zedd's like, all right, I'm proud of what I did. Here she comes. I wouldn't be proud. I still have that one to take care of.
Lady Macbeth.
Yeah, right. I'm like, go walk around the castle and mutter, be insane.
At the command center, Alpha's upset. He can't restore the power to the main generator or any of the backups, which means no Zordon. Aisha asks Alpha if he knows what he could do to help. Alpha tells her, Alpha tells her not what, but who. Alpha says that the only Billy knows everything about the sophisticated computers.
Alpha, you have been in this command center for how long? For how long?
Alpha knows nothing. Now we know for sure that Billy's dangerous because Alpha knows nothing. Billy is the fencer of the Rangers.
Unless they can find out some alternate power source, he'll be unable to transport anyone in and find out. They're going to be trapped there forever.
Why is it when the electricity goes off, all the doors lock?
Wait a minute, hold on. When Jason and the original 5 became Rangers, didn't Jason just walk out?
outside?
Yeah. But apparently,
when there's no power,
the
Shut
doors
down.
are security
Yeah.
lock, and it just.
It's like the hatch from Lost.
Yeah.
Or it's like Ex Machina, where it's like,
Yeah.
you're
It's
trapped.
literally the reverse of every base that they've had on the Flash or CW series. Because you can get into any one of those. You can't get into the command center, though.
Back on the moon, Lord Zedd finds the situation excellent. Happy about how the Rangers' hate is being so great, they're gonna destroy each other. Goldar, waiting in the background patiently, proclaiming victory is Zedd.
Shut up, Goldar.
Yes. You're just as bad as Saba, Goldar.
Seriously.
Rita comes into the throne room and notes that with the Power Rangers out of the picture, she and Zedd can go on their honeymoon. Zedd reminds Rita that he's already gone through one, but Rita complains about their last honeymoon, recounting that Goldar showed up. That's so weird. And couldn't go anywhere without smelling his stink of monkey breath. Causing Goldar to turn around.
His mouth is rolling.
Zedd informs Rita that there must be more done. Rita tells him to speed things up, as she wants to go on her second honeymoon very soon. Zedd then turns towards the balcony, aims a Z-staff, firing an energy bolt to Earth, while saying at the time it's time to poison the world with hate, starting with Angel Grove. The bolt causes the hate monster to reappear in Angel Grove Park.
Yes.
Why did Goldar show up, though, at their honeymoon? Like,
There's dangling plot thread.
I don't know. Some FOMO. He was like, oh.
Yeah, right. I have to be there for you.
The dangling plot thread. Now, Bulk and Skull, disguised as French waiters.
Oh, God, yes.
Man, their disguises are so good.
This one's so good.
You couldn't figure it out. Walk through the park, and their latest attempt to find the graffiti bandit has ended with them dumping Ernie's lunch plate special all over the governor's wife. First of all, that cafe or whatever it is must be a really hot spot if the governor's wife is
there. She's like, I can go anywhere. Tavern on the Green. No, let's go to Ernie's Cafe. That's where I need to go.
Bulk can't believe they didn't get arrested. Skull asks Bulk if they should just go look at the bright side, and Bulk tells him no, they just want him to watch where he's going. They bump into the Hate Master, who quickly casts a spell of hate on them. I actually love this scene.
Yeah.
With a lengthy rap,
Yeah.
which he whips up hate dust and turns the two best friends to mortal enemies before teleporting away from the scene. Bulk and Skull, having been moving their arms in the rhythm of the Hate Monster's rap, start to turn on each other. Bulk and Skull proceed to rip off the fake mustaches and shove them up each other's nose. But you can tell in this, Skull is about to laugh when he does.
And the end credits, I think they actually do show some of the cuts.
Because there were so many times where you knew he was gonna break.
Yeah,
he was definitely gonna break, and it was like, man. Lately, though, on the when they do the ending thing, you've been seeing it where Bulk just breaks.
Oh my God! I gotta mention this. Blackwing in the comments says, "I really hate how this season is nothing but multi-parters," but then he's complaining on Ninja Steel how there's nothing there.
Yeah, like, dude. So Well, I guess, in different shows, you like different things, I guess. Maybe that may be it.
I think this is by far one of the best
I am
episodes.
enjoying this season, man. I don't understand what's
Aisha
wrong
continues to dwell in the darkened command center, taking a good long look at a lifeless viewing globe and noting that Zedd really's done it this time. Alpha shouts that he hates him, but realizes that's probably what he wants.
Exactly.
Yes.
And refuses to hate him.
See, I like that. I think that fits the theme. I think that's
right.
perfect. It's better than the necklace thing. Also, I thought Bulk and Skull, because they do love each other.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to fall under. I was like, love, yes. Even though they're
they don't-
bullies and they're going to be an example and they're going to team up with
they don't even
Aisha.
trick
And
it. Yeah.
Nope.
But apparently they do.
Nope.
Everyone
The
does.
infuriating analogy gives Aisha an idea how to escape. She asks Alpha how much power would it take to teleport her out of there.
Yeah.
He tells her it'd be a minimal amount, and she mentions that if she got out, she could find out what's blocking the power and shut it down. Alpha points out that they don't even have enough amount of power to teleport her out. Aisha tells him that they do inside of Alpha himself. Alpha understands.
This is some weird kinky thing, is it not?
Well, is it?
little
No,
bit.
for me, it's just
A
kind of
little
like,
bit.
we're just going to take the power out of you and send me out of here.
Because you're
we're
useless
in a
and you don't even know how to work the command center.
Exactly, and we're in a building that for some reason was created with no doors. So I need to get out of here, and I'm just going to take your power to do it. But the thing is, what if you take too much?
Well, that's what happened to Zordon, and then he was...
True
right?
story.
He's like, here it is. He shuts down, and that's it.
Well, Alpha understands. He decides to connect his circuitry to the main computer and use his powers to get it operating. Alpha calls this excellent, high-fiving Aisha on the splendid idea. Meanwhile, at the youth center, Adam bullies some guy working out, telling him to move, and he's going to work out there. The guy takes his stuff and leaves, not wanting to fight.
I wouldn't want to fight Adam
I
either.
wouldn't either. But Tommy comes over behind him and does the same thing to Adam, telling him, hey, this space already reserved for him. Rocky, Billy, and Kimberly, despite promising to avoid each other, still manage to clump together in a group in the background to watch Adam ask Tommy why he's even going to bother since he isn't any good. Tommy plans to see about that, offering to prove who's the best right now and go one-on-one in a fight. Back at the command center, Alpha hooked himself up to... This is one of the best parts of this episode, by the way. Alpha hooks himself up in the computer console and asks Aisha to flip his chest switch on. Kinky, right? Causing a jolt charge to surge out from him.
Oh, man. All these innuendos, man.
With his own circuits.
Whoa.
It succeeds, and now Alpha is able to pinpoint the location of the power blockage in the youth center. He doesn't have enough juice to transport Aisha to the youth center.
That's what you said.
So she opts out for the park, a much closer destination. Aisha hands Alpha her necklace to Alpha, who says she can take it.
Is that the payment?
And be vulnerable to the hate monster spell without it.
Good.
She reminds him that if she can restore the power to the command center, he's going to need the necklace to block the monster's hold on the Rangers. Alpha calls Aisha a real Power Ranger and activates teleportation, allowing her to escape the command center.
Good.
Alpha, teleport. Man, this is a really long episode.
Boy.
A lot of stuff happens.
It does. Alpha teleports to the Angel Grove Park perfectly and quickly starts sprinting off towards the youth center. Zedd spots her, knowing that he shouldn't have her, turned his back immediately and sends the Tengas to attack her and collects the soil she touches, the hate monster. Aisha makes it only halfway through the park when she's ambushed by the Tengas from a tree above. She instantly calls out Ninja Ranger power and morphs into the Yellow Ranger suit. She proceeds to fight the Tengas. While she does this, two of them sneak in with the same vacuum that Squat had with the dustpan, collecting the dust, unsettles their brethren around, whatever that means. Aisha is outnumbered, but manages to keep pace with the Tengas long enough. For the moment, Aisha notices dust collecting. The two of them teleport away, with the others rushing off in the sky. She is left dumbfounded as why they retreated so quickly, wishing she knew what was going on around her. She reverts to her civilian clothes, only to find the hate monster standing a few feet away from her. He starts up with another rap. Yep. And he takes the dust that the Tenga moves and mixes it up with his hands, then wipes it over the orange star field of hate particles over the cloud of Aisha's head. Without her necklace, she begins staggering and becomes drowsy. She refuses to listen to him, but the spell is overwhelming. Zedd and Rita are standing around, and Zedd notes that Aisha will soon be under the hate monster spell, and they'll have them all. He points out Rita that the victory is within their grasp. All Rita is pleased as Zedd remarks that with the Rangers out of the way, the world in the hate-filled turmoil, they proclaim themselves rulers and make the Earthlings their slave, and they laugh diabolically in unison. There you go. Back on Earth, Aisha continues to be bombarded by the hate monster's dust. She's brought to her knees while attempting to resist the spell. Hate monster keeps up the rhythming and says something notable. Would you give in already? Well, this is sounding weird. Doing this is no snap. It's really isn't easy taking all this time to rap. Give in. Aisha tries to think good thoughts, remembering her conversation with her grandmother, Medea, from the earlier in the day, especially the part about rising above the hate. There you go.
That purple hair
Love
bandit.
conquers all. Resulting the emotions are enough to cause the hate dust to wither unexpectedly hate monster's hands. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it makes sense. I
So
mean,
far, so
it was
good.
like, look, it was once again at
It
the
didn't
end,
need the
was
necklace. It
inside
proved
of
to
her the
me.
whole
Yeah, so I was
time.
like, okay, at this point, I get it. I'm behind this.
We're stop worrying about materialistic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aisha won't let hate control her. Her grandmother taught her better than that. Hate monster then teleports away to recharge, allowing Aisha the opportunity to make a run for the youth center. Rita is watching through her repulsoscope?
Yeah.
I don't know. And is very unhappy with the results, telling Zedd that Aisha sent the monster packing and is going to destroy all their work. He doesn't seem shaken by the news one bit. At the youth center, Tommy and Adam finally begin their fight. They're about to fight. They're about to throw down.
You're gonna get it.
Adam readies his fist, says that Tommy. He and Tommy both know that he should be in charge of the team, and Tommy will just have to see about that before they can throw any punches. Do you think this is like a WWF title or WWE title where he's like, "I'll put my leadership on the line if you beat me"?
Literally, he's
But
just
the
like,
thing
that's
is,
how it
Tommy
works.
didn't even want to be the leader. He already said, like, I don't want to do this.
I don't
So
wanna do
why
this.
isn't he just
So
like,
what does it
you have
matter?
it? Yeah.
Like, I
Because
just
he hates
wanna-
him.
I just
Okay.
want to fight you to fight you. I don't need a.
He hates him. They back. Aisha breaks the fight up before it even stops. They back off, listening to her hesitantly as they say this. They're both great athletes with awesome skills, which shouldn't be used to hurt each other or anyone else.
Except
as
for
it's-
monsters.
except for
Thank
monsters,
you.
as it's a gift to only be used for sport with honor and dignity. Aisha also reminds them they're all friends, asking why they should hate each other. Such a waste. Despite the displeased look on their faces, the show of love is enough to temporarily negate the hate monster spell, causing the orange glow to swell up. Now, Billy is a bit dazed by this, hands the power-draining device over to Aisha, who immediately turns it off. This recreates the electricity in the command center turning on. Everything back to online. Alpha must realize that Aisha must have gotten a jamming device, and she is quite happy because there's now power back. When he notices that Zordon has reappeared in the tube, Alpha then uses the necklace to create a positive energy beam, which will counteract Zordon's the hate. Zordon informs Alpha that the longer that the Rangers are under the spell, the harder it is to break. Alpha starts working on it as fast as he can. The Moon Palace. Rita takes a look at her little telescope thing.
The Rita-scope.
Yep, and screams at Zedd they're losing. After the arguing, they lock the wand and Z-Step together to make the monster grow. We already know how this goes up. We pretty much know how this goes down from here. Rangers win in a
big
fight.
giant fight, blah, 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 yada, yada. The monster finally loses. And then after that, we get the moment where everyone is happy and everyone is friends again. And we get to see Bulk and Skull.
That
at their
was so
This
sweet.
was the moment I was waiting for, and I got to see it. Where it's
This-
like, I love you too, man. I was like, oh, God, I love it. It was great.
But then also how they're just like, no, we're manly. We're manly. Let's talk
we're manly, let's talk.
sports things.
But we also find out a big part of this episode is who was the computer bandit. You find out it's Skull.
Yeah.
In his
Sleepwalking,
sleep.
right?
Sleepwalking.
Yeah. He's sleep tagging.
Sleep
That's what
tagging.
people do now, apparently. It's a thing.
There are no notes for this episode. However, there are some errors. Now, we're going to get into these errors, and then we're going to wrap it up. Rita's repulsoscope was missing from the palace balcony throughout Part 1. In Part 2, it's claimed that Aisha's necklace makes her immune to the hate monster spell. However, she wouldn't be affected in any way. She hadn't touched the dirt that Squat collected from the hate monster in Part 1, though. Upon demorphing from the ninja mode, Aisha suddenly transported from the park to the lake, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's true.
In part 2, the Rangers morphed in the youth center doorway where they would surely have been seen.
No, Kimberly's checking. Look, she's on the lookout. She was like,
looking
all right,
out.
we've been caught kind of a lot of times, so got this, guys.
The Crane Ninja Zord cockpit is missing from the pink border when Kimberly boards it in part 1.
Oh.
So there's a little
Oh, wow, yeah.
department touch there.
She's in the Falcon Zord.
Despite that's going to be our next build, I think.
Well, just a giveaway one.
But just 2 different ones that we're just going to swap. The Crane Ninja Zord. All right, so despite the stated effect of the hate spell, none of the affected Rangers actually try to get away from their former friend, despite Rocky stating he wanted to leave his friends.
I like that he's like, he's still there. He's still there.
all the time.
Yeah.
That's it. Boom, boom, boom.
Guys, in the chat, what do you guys rank this episode? Elle, what do you rank this episode?
I want to give it, both of them together, I want to say it's a 5. I love these.
I'm also going to give this a 5.
Yeah.
It was all the way live. I give it a 5.
I just wish that the Rangers like went through with the message and beat what is this Rat Master by like not fighting, by actually showing him love and affection. And he was like, you know what, you guys are best friends. Like, you guys have a really good point.
As a Zord,
like,
they just go up
and they hug and like, you know. And he was like, you know.
Diddy T Cosplay, he says, I give this episode a 4 out of 5, mostly because I'm feeling with that Sassy Adam vibe.
Yes.
Edward Sanchez gives it a 5. Larry gives it a 5. Michaela gives it a 5.
High rankings.
Anthony Davis gives it a 5. Jared gives it a 5. Layla gives it a 3.5.
Woo.
Jay gives it a 3.5. Robo P gives it a 4.5. And Blackwing gives it a 3.
Wow.
But still, that's
high for Blackwing. That's high for Blackwing because he doesn't like this.
Blackwing's always wrong when he
This
races
is like
anyway, so it doesn't really
certified
matter what he
fresh,
says.
though.
It's certified fresh.
Certified fresh.
That's it.
Lightning bolts, 5 lightning
Boom.
bolts.
Yes.
That's it.
It's in the positive side of the Morphin grid.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. These 3 episodes were a lot of fun.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Fun to cover, fun to watch, fun to talk about.
And we got 3 more next week. Next
wait.
week, are all 3 of us back? I think we are.
Yeah. We'll be
Next
there
week, we are going to be talking about Final Face-Off, the Potion Notion, and I'm dreaming of a White Ranger.
Ooh.
So those are going to be our 3 episodes next week. If you wanna watch the episodes before we do it, we're on season 3 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We're going to be flying through these episodes because by the winter we're probably going to be in Power Rangers Zeo, which I can't wait for.
Excited.
But as of right now, I feel like this is the best season of Mighty Morphin there is. I think this is the best cast of Mighty Morphin. I think the leadership in Mighty Morphin is exactly where it's supposed to be, with Tommy.
Yeah.
But it is a good
The
season.
dude gets the Master Morpher. It makes sense.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Where can we find you on social media?
I am LT on the Facebook and the Instagram.
And if you want to vote for who you want the next spotlight on, go check out our channel. If you don't know what that is, Jezzer did one yesterday. Justin did one last week. But you guys were putting the vote in your hands. Who you want to see next, even though you did win last week. You weren't here. You were out of town yesterday.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to vote for somebody, head over to THS Hashtaggers. Cast your vote. Daniel, where can everyone find you on social media?
Well, you can find me where you can't see it, but it's Battlestar Galactica. That's where you can see it.
Oh, you can't. It's
so
definitely
wrong
cut
that the
out.
name is so long, but Battlestar Galactica. I'm on it all day.
Battlestar Gabe.
Battlestar
Gabe.
Gabe. That's it. That guy's dangerous. Battlestar Gabe.
Battlestar Gabe.
That guy just got a ton of new followers.
I know, right? Remember the guy? He's like, oh, what?
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. You can find me on all social media at that hashtag Joe. And you can find me in just a little bit on Star Wars Fanatics. That's over on Facebook. So later on tonight, if you're a Star Wars fan, stop by. Me and Ro are going to be holding it down with your Star Wars news. But that's going to do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
Shout out Medea.